Folks, in the next 2 minutes, I'm actually going to tell you a story, and if you listen to this closely, your life is going to change forever. Imagine you built something from scratch. You gave it late nights, no salary, pure belief. It's you and your best friend. Fast forward to when the funding arrives, he puts his name on the company, his name on the press release, his name on the Forbes feature, and yours on the employment contract. You don't fight it because he is your friend, because यार पे कोई doubt नहीं करता. That trust, that single moment of blind loyalty just cost you everything that you actually built. This is not a startup story. This is happening in offices across Bangalore, in family businesses in Surat. Robert Greene calls it law number 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Most people hear that and say, that's cold, that is not me. That reaction, that comfortable rejection of an uncomfortable truth is exactly why this law keeps destroying them. Your friends know your strengths, but most dangerously, they know the version of you that needs validation and the version that cannot say a no. The person who holds both is the most complicated person in your life, because you can never fully know which version of them you're dealing with until it is too late. Your enemy is actually simpler. Their motivation is clean. It is readable, preparable, usable. What you cannot read will always cost you more than what you can see coming. The truth is not new. It has been sitting in our own scriptures for 3,000 years. There was a warrior in Mahabharata, the greatest of his generation. His name was Karna. Born to a prince, raised as the charioteer's son, humiliated his entire life for his birth. But there was one man who stood up for him, gave him a kingdom when the world gave him nothing, called him his brother. That man was Duryodhana, and Karna gave him everything in return: his sword, his loyalty, his life. He died for a cause he knew he would never lose. But here is the detail most people never hear. Before the war, Krishna came to Karna privately. He told him the truth behind his birth, that he was the eldest Pandava, that the throne of the world was rightfully his. Yudhishthira would rule under him. Arjuna, the greatest rival, would drive his chariot. Everything he had been denied his entire life was sitting right in front of him. Karna listened and refused. What matters most in life are the bonds of love, not power over the world. He walked away from the throne of the world for one simple thing: for his friendship. Now, this was not out of ignorance, this was out of sheer gratitude, and gratitude in the wrong direction is the most expensive loyalty a powerful man can actually choose. I want to say something honest. The most difficult moments of my personal life did not come from people who wanted to see me fail. They came from people who called me their brother. If you've built anything in this country with anyone, your friend, your relative, you exactly know what I am talking about. Karna's story is 3,000 years old. But in 2002, the same dynamic played out between two brothers, and it is documented as one of the biggest corporate splits in Indian history. July the 6th, 2002, Dhirubhai Ambani dies. He leaves his $15 billion empire and no succession plan. Two sons, Mukesh and Anil, brothers so close that one started a sentence and the other actually finished it. Within 2 years, the differences became public. A non compete clause signed in January 2006 kept Mukesh out of telecom completely. Everyone said Anil had actually won the future sectors, the sunrise business. In May 2010, the non compete agreement was scrapped. Mukesh immediately returned to telecom. That project was called Geo. 450 million customers. Anil's Reliance Communications collapsed completely. In 2021, Anil's net worth had shrunk from billions to 0.8 billion, where Mukesh had grown to an astonishing $84.5 billion. And then an agreement expired and one brother was ready. Now, I'm not trying to make Mukesh Ambani a genius and trying to make Anil Ambani a villain. What I am trying to say is whether by instinct or design, one brother separated emotion from strategy in a way the other never could actually do. He competed without hatred, he won without cruelty. That separation between who someone is to you personally and what is strategically true is exactly what Law 2 is teaching you. Remember the founder from the beginning, the one whose best friend took the Forbes feature? Here's the part that I actually didn't tell you. His so called enemy, a senior investor who challenged every pitch, questioned every number, pushed back on every decision, that person forced him to build a shareholder agreement so tight that when the co-founder tried to dilute him, the clause held. That friend smiled at him every morning. The enemy made him unbreakable. दोस्त ने हाथ मिला था धागा, दुश्मन ने रोका बचाया. Your life, your city, right now. Ask yourself one honest question. Who in your life right now is giving you comfort and who is giving you resistance? Chanakya's philosophy throughout Arthashastra points to one consistent truth. The opposition of an enemy is the most honest feedback you will ever receive. The support of a friend is the most expensive comfort you will ever buy. Karna's enemy, Arjuna, was actually the most honest relationship he had. Clean motivation, clean opposition, clear opposition. His friend Duryodhana was the complicated one. Gratitude tangled with politics, loyalty tangled with utility. The fear of losing that bond kept Karna chained to a cause he knew he was wrong. Give your friends your love, never give them your blind spot. Karna turned down the throne for the world, for a friendship. An agreement expired in Mumbai, and only one of the brothers were actually ready. A founder in India trusted a term sheet he never actually read, just out of sheer trust. None of them were weak, none of them were naive. They simply could not see clearly through the blindfold of trust, the lens that they had actually put on for so long, the lens that went on to destroy their lives completely. The world does not punish disloyalty, it punishes blindness. In episode 1, we showed you how the law is working against you. In episode 2, we actually showed you the person delivering it. And in the next episode, we are going to show you how you can fight back. Till then, keep growing.